Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Chicagoland. We are back for round 3 of the TDR versus Nowski Nation. Ongoing battle here with me, as always. Tommy, you still with me, buddy?
Yeah, I'm with you, Doug. Been a long 2 weeks. Been looking forward to the continuation of this series.
So right now, TDR's got the lead, and let's just start this off with the bet for tonight.
Oh, this is a good one, and I think one of the two wives is going to be a big fan of this, because at the end of this race, there's going to be a husband with some very smooth legs.
So it is not shave, it is full on having to wax their legs.
Yep, and you and I think we both know which one hurts less.
Yes.
Let's encourage these guys to choose the one that hurts the most.
I would have to agree. I think the cold wax will definitely be a lot worse, but it's definitely going to be an interesting night. We're seeing cars struggle with the handling so far here tonight. I know a lot of extra practice sessions have been put up this week, and I know Nowski is really wanting to get the job done tonight.
Yeah, the points they're so close. TDR has a slight margin. You got Nowski Nation coming off a win 2 weeks ago. I think Pudge could pull it off, but at the same time, I think TDR wants it just as bad.
It is definitely going to be a wild night. I know we have a lot of fun up here in the broadcast booth, but before we get into everything, let's try and talk to a couple of drivers.
Yeah, we've got a ton of guys have radios active tonight. You want to bring in Pudjanowski himself or maybe Bernheimer?
Yeah, let's see if Bernheimer's available.
Hey, 28, this is Tommy up in the booth. You got a read on us?
Hey,
Bernheimer, 28, you got a read on us?
Kevin, you better not be ignoring me, buddy. I guess he has stepped away pre-race meditation.
But it's not by the head of the event.
Well, do you want to pull in one of your drivers real quick while we wait on Mr. Bernheimer?
Hello, I'm here.
Hey, Kevin, this is Doug in the booth. How you doing, bud?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. Been a while since I talked to you, and kind of curious, what are your chances here tonight?
I don't know. I'm not that fast right now, but I tend to race a little better than I practice and qualify, so we'll see what we can do. Hopefully I just get to finish this one unwrecked.
Well, I know you're extremely good at saving the tires, especially at a track like this, and working your way up through the field. You think you're not the fastest one out there, but one of the more consistent ones. You think you'll be able to work your way through on the long run?
Yeah, once we get rolling along, I'll think I'll be able to get her up there in the top 10 and see what we can do from there.
All right, man. Well, best of luck to you and all the Nowski boys tonight.
Thank you. Good luck on the broadcast, buddy.
All right. See you, Kevin. That was Kevin Bernheimer. He is racing for Nowski Nation tonight. I know we've got a couple of other drivers from TDR available. Who you got down there, Tommy?
I'm gonna see if I can pull in Lucas Corbin, the iRock 2020 champion, and see how he's feeling about his luck tonight. Give me 1 second to get him queued up on the microphone.
10-4. Interestingly, Gortman, I know, and Bernheimer have raced together quite often in the past, been in some of the same leagues, so it'll be interesting if they get side by side. And knowing how well each of them races, it'll be interesting to see how they do. Lucas, it's Doug. You got me?
Yes, sir. I got you.
You got any tacos in the pits? I'm getting kind of hungry.
That's for the celebration, hopefully, for tonight.
So is it looking like you guys are going to be able to pull it off and open up the points lead tonight?
We're definitely hoping. I mean, I see a lot of our TDR guys are fast in practice. Hopefully, we're able to carry that on to qualifying and to the race. These Xfinity cars, they're a little bit of a handful to drive, but I think the real talent's going to show up here tonight, and hopefully, we get a win for TDR.
Looks like a lot of guys are struggling with loose off of turn 2 and trying to keep that thing going straight. If you've got it figured out.
I feel like we've got it pretty much figured out. You know, it does get a little loose out of 2 especially, and it can get loose out of 4, especially if you hit the bump there wrong. But as the tires, you get 2 or 3 laps on it, it normally just kind of balances out, and then you're just trying to save tires and also keep good laps going.
All right, man. Well, I know you're used to driving one sideways. I've seen you do it personally a couple of times, so best of luck to you tonight, bud.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Hopefully put on a good show for you.
All right. All right, that was Lucas Gortman from TDR, and here we go. Off into qualifying. Everybody is getting lined up, going to go out on track. They've got right at 5 minutes, 2 laps to get it done. So we are in for a wild ride here tonight at Chicagoland. 1.5 miles mid-sized track, but this one has a differentiation that going into turn 3 is one long curve about 2/3 of the way down the back straightaway. You get a very long curve, and it gets very, very interesting the way you have to enter it, the way you have to handle the corner gets a little bit wild there. So we'll see as Lucas Gortman gets out on track, we'll see how these guys do. Don't forget to hit that share button. Let's see if we can get everybody in here supporting Nowski, supporting TDR. And I know when Tommy's got some charity stuff for TDR to talk about tonight, so looking forward to helping out some great folks tonight as well. Looking through the field, Lucas Gortman, Kevin Bernheimer, Matt Hughes, Patrick Gitter, Anthony Karen, Jerry Bandy, Dean Webb, James Krause, Adam Ritchie, Marty Brown, and Andy Schoner, Aaron Johnson, Derek Turner, all out there getting their qualifying laps in right now, as is most of the field. Looks like we've got a full 30-car field despite a lot of changes in the last few days with the drivers for tonight. So it's going to be, that might throw up a few problems as well with some of the guys that put in the extra practice over the last 2 weeks. They might be struggling if they were not in the original group. Good evening, Cody, Jason, Becky. Don't forget to hit that share button while we're in qualifying so we can get these guys a lot of love and support here tonight. Right now, no big surprise. We've got a McCann on the pole right at the moment. That would be Kevin. And I'm looking to see if the other McCann is here tonight. I don't believe he was. And as you notice, we've got some custom paint jobs out here tonight. Taking a look through some of these guys, I did see there is Pudge himself. And a lot of the Pudgeanowski guys are driving a similar paint scheme to that. And we'll try and get a look at the TDR paint scheme. There we go. There is the TDR. So most of the TDR guys are in that blue paint scheme. Most of the Nowski Nation boys are in the orange and white. Scott Snodgrass out there qualifying. He is the one that is not in a Nowski Nation car tonight. A little bit different paint scheme out of him. And these are the Xfinity cars here tonight. So less downforce, but almost as much power as the Cup cars. So it's going to be interesting to see if that comes into play here. As we heard mentioned, a little bit loose off 2 and even a little bit loose off of turn 4 until we get about 3 laps in. So those first 3 laps on a set of tires, that's going to be the determining factor. If we have any cautions, we're going to be watching for that early on. And after, if we have any cautions, now Chicagoland does have the potential for some very long green flag runs. You'll see most of your passing done not in 1 and 2, but in 3 and 4, getting the different lines into the turn. It'll be interesting to see what different lines these guys take, and of course team strategy out there as well. DJ Powell out there turning laps. It looks like Tommy stepped away from the booth for a moment. Most of the guys have qualified. We've got 2 that have not so far. Jacob Morgan and Jerry Banty have not been out for qualifying laps. Don't forget to check out BACCcharities.com this week. They are running a special event. Tommy will be back to tell us about it here shortly. Meanwhile, it is a night race. 78 degrees is the air temperature. 79 degrees is the track temperature. 1.5 mile track, 18 degree turns, 11 degree front straightaway, and 5 degree back straightaway. Just about everybody has qualified, and qualifying is just about over, so hopefully Tommy joins us again here in a few. Meanwhile, let's look at the grid for tonight. Kevin McCann, Patrick Gitter up front, James Krause and Pudge himself in the second row, Jordan Sims and Otto Cruz in the third row, DJ Powell, Derek Turner in the fourth. 9th is Adam Ritchie, 10th is Kenny Hyde Jr., then Lucas Gortman and Blair Patterson. 13th is Kevin Bernheimer. Mike Butler is 14th. Dustin Yeldhusen and Aaron Johnson. Dean Webb, Shanna Harton, Justin Swafford, and Greg Bruzow are rounding out the top 20. Then Scotty Too Hottie Snodgrass, Marty Brown, Christopher Rawlings, Anthony Karen, Jim Donovan, Andy Schoner, Bradley Hunt, John Lucido, Jacob Morgan, and Jerry Banty round out the field. Those last 2, Jacob Morgan and Jerry Banty, did not qualify. Make sure you drop into the chat and let us know who you are cheering for here tonight. Pace car should be rolling off any second. It looks like Pudge might be having a little bit of blinking problem there. Saw his stream a few minutes ago. Everything looked fine, so hopefully once he gets moving, everything will smooth out. And looks like the pace car is going to start rolling. Here we go. One full pace lap. The pace car will drop off coming out of turn 4, and we'll go green flag racing. Tommy has gone MIA. And can't tell you, it looks like the team's pretty much set up the same as last time. I do believe the Nowski Nation boys, the TDR guys do have their spotters in place again tonight, floating back and forth. That's going to help that team out. We'll have to see if the Nowski Nation guys pulled the same trick here. Pace car drops off really, really late, actually. That's surprising. Green flag is in the air. Kevin McCann leading him down into turn number 1. Looks like Jacob Morgan started on pit road. Not sure. I doubt that's a strategy thing. He might have been late getting into the field. Everybody comes through turn 2 cleanly, though, and you can see all those blue cars for TDR and the white and brown for the Nowski Nation. And right now in the top 10, it is mostly blue as Kevin McCann is starting to already open up a lead. I can tell you it is allowed to go below the white line there at the start-finish line. However, the problem is going to be that does wear the tires a little bit more, coming down to the flat and then going back up on that higher banking does tend to wear on the tires just a little bit.
I'm just glad they're having less problems out there than I had up here in the booth.
I was wondering, I thought you left me and I was going to cry.
I was trying to punch in Lucas's password for his radio, and then I stepped on the wire that led to Pujanowski's feed, and then I knocked over the whole... I'm back. I'm back.
Well, we are glad you are back, and we are underway. Lap number 3, and it looks like the TDR boys, at least for the moment, are going to be a force to be reckoned with, as Kevin McCann has already started to break away at the front. I noticed his brother's not here with him tonight.
Yeah, I didn't actually. Well, obviously, I missed the lineup because I was having technical difficulties up here. It's good to see at least one McCann out there, but we can't refer to them as the brothers McCann tonight. I would say, in the other brother's absence, I think Adam Rickey is going to end up taking that spot.
Adam Rickey started in 9th. He's already picked up one position, and he's already on the hunt, looking to the inside, going in turn 3. We got through the first few laps. Pretty clean. Nobody burned up their tire, or nobody got loose and spun, and most of these guys are doing a pretty good job of saving tires.
Yeah, this race is looking a lot cleaner than what we've seen from these two groups. I think tensions have ran a little hot in the first two races, and it seems like they're being a lot more well-behaved now.
Well, that definitely is going to pay off as the night goes on. You got a couple of guys out there like Lucas Gorman, like Kevin Bernheimer, not the fastest ones at the beginning of the race, didn't qualify the best, but both of them starting to make their way forward for their respective teams. So it's going to get interesting.
Yeah, I see a lot of blue cars running up front right now, but I would expect that to change as we progress through the laps here.
It'll be interesting to see. Pit strategy is going to be extremely interesting here in a 90-lap race. They're going to have to make it probably two stops, and we're going to have to see if they start pitting as teams and how that strategy works. If any of these guys figured out a way. We've got one getting way loose, just outside the top 10.
Ooh, look at that. And I don't know, I'm sure you mentioned it in the pre-race, but if you didn't have a chance, have we seen the paint scheme Andy's running? I know the previous gentleman's bet was the loser had to run the paint scheme chosen by the winner.
No, we have not, but let's take a gander at that. Oh, that is beautiful.
Oh, it's definitely not blue.
No, it is not. And, I heart Nowski Nation. You know, I saw the pictures of that earlier today. And it was funny then, but it's even funnier seeing it on track right now.
Yeah, and funny enough, he's all the way in the back.
And whoever's right behind him, I believe it's Bradley Hunt, just smacked the wall again.
I think he had a little help from our buddy in the pink car there.
He may have. Meanwhile, on the move, Mike Butler in the 14 car. He's picked up 3 spots. Aaron Johnson's picked up 4. And Justin Swafford has started in 19th. He is up to 13th now. So we've got a couple of drivers with both teams starting to work their way forward as we've got a mess of cars right here.
Yeah, I'm surprised we don't see more organization this early on. You would think with this many laps left to go, they'd run single file, get through that first pit stop. But they're really fighting for every position out there right now.
Yeah, they really are. And we're going to take a lap as they come out of turn 4. We're going to ride along with Kevin Bernheimer. He's right in the middle of this mess. And it's going to be interesting to see what he is seeing from his car. A lot of blue. That's what he's seeing from his car.
Blue to the inside, blue in front of him. I wish I could see his mirror because I guarantee there's some blue behind him too.
I imagine they are. Now, you'll notice as we go down into 1 and 2, 18-degree bank turns. These guys are all moving around. That's that low downforce setup in these Xfinity cars. Does make them a little bit squirrely. And how about no? And
How about no?
And you notice there going into 3, you start turning a lot earlier. This is not your standard mile-and-a-half cookie cutter track. It does have some variety to it.
Yeah, and your mention of the how about no, so all of the TDR cars are rocking a paint scheme that was inspired by Pujanowski himself. It's all screenshots and little sayings that were made while he suffered that Carolina Reaper challenge.
Yeah, I actually dropped into his stream after I got done racing a little bit ago, and somebody asked him about the Reaper right as I was jumping in, and he was like, "No, no, never again. That will never be another bet." And yeah, so I don't think that that's going to be a problem.
That was my gentleman's challenge. So one of the TDR members, not always Andy, typically picked up the other end of the challenge. So my challenge was the Carolina Reaper, and after watching Pudge have to eat that thing, I am so glad it was not me.
Well, yeah, I would have done it, and I probably would have done it with a smile. But well, let me think. I probably would have done it with a smile 20 years ago. Nowadays, it might be a little bit harder. But yeah, if you're not used to that kind of heat, it is difficult at best.
You want to eat one? I heard we shipped Pujanowski 7 of them. He only had to eat one. I think he still has 6 in a little baggie.
I'll have to ask the wife. She might not be too happy about me eating one of those. We have the extensive collection of hot sauce, and we have some Reaper sauce, but it's usually one drop in a big pot of something. So,
Well, from what I understand, if you eat a Carolina Reaper, you just got to make sure you have your dude wipes.
what is the deal with dude wipes? I noticed that on a couple of cars today. Was that is that due to Pudge using those for the during the bet?
Yeah, I don't know if it's an obscure name brand from North Carolina, but I think he meant to say wet wipes, and it just came out dude wipes.
No, I've heard of dude wipes, and I know they are they're a growing brand meant to be for guys. So
Well, maybe Pujanowski can parlay his way into a dude wipe sponsorship.
could be. Otto Cruz, excuse me, is now moved up to second place after starting in sixth. And as I mentioned, once these guys were 15 laps in, once these guys get a little bit of time, they start to kind of spread out, and this track does lend itself to long green flag runs.
Do you have any idea what the pit window is here?
I believe it's about 20 to 25. I think so. We'll see. Or I'm sorry, 25 to 30. So I believe most of these guys can do it on 2 stops. They might be able to do it on 1 stop if they really, really stretch it. But I know that the fuel was reduced a little bit to kind of add in that extra strategy bit.
Yeah, and side note, I just did a little bit of research, and you can actually buy dude wipes right now, $15.99 for a 12-pack.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I didn't know it was a thing. I thought he misspoke.
Where was that when I was racing bicycles? Would have came in handy. Meanwhile, Lucas Gordman now working his way through a big mess of cars here. He has managed to work his way up to 9th. You say he is the 2020 IROC champion.
Yep, guy has a lot of speed. We always thought he had a very sophisticated rig, a nice setup. That young man is on a very small laptop.
Yes, he is. And a Logitech wheel, if I remember correctly. He is not fancy at all. He can pick it up and move it anywhere, anytime, and still one of the fastest guys out there.
Yeah, and I think that really goes to show is that equipment can make you faster, but equipment can't make you fast. This kid gets a lot done with very little means, and anybody can come out here and do this if they really have the talent to put the wheels to the ground and get the speed behind the car.
Yeah, it's interesting to note with Lucas, like Scott, a couple of guys that Scott has a pretty nice rig. And both of them ran in the 24 Hours of Daytona. Scott was on my team, and Lucas's team, they ran LMP, if I remember correctly, and had a top 3. Our team had a top 10. I think we finished 7th or 8th, and our team had a mix of rigs as well. So it just depends on how much time you spend on the gear you got, and then obviously with somebody like Lucas, it's a talent thing.
Yeah, I know within the TDR community, we don't have any racing tonight, but we have 2 members. I won't throw their names out there just because we don't want to talk about their business, but they have multi-$1,000 rigs with actuators that move around and spin around as they drive, and they're not always the fastest guys out there.
No, they're really not. There's actually a new motion rig coming out that looks like a hamster ball too. that will have full motion for racing and sim flight, which would be cool for sim flight, but could make you a little nauseous.
As a driver who's notorious in the industry for flipping his cars upside down, I won't be excited until there's one that'll put me upside down.
Well, I believe that one will. You'll have to look into that. I'll find you the link for it. But yeah, that would be very, very cool to have.
We got some tight racing back here in this pack we're watching right now.
This is actually for 10th through about 15th. You got 10th place Mike Butler and a small group right ahead. Lucas Gordman broke away from that group. And then you got Pudge, DJ Powell, Aaron Johnson, Dean Webb, Kevin Bernheimer, Justin Swafford, and Dustin Velhusen, all right there packed together, just constantly swapping spots. And I'm really surprised Pudge has actually gone backwards quite a bit. He started in 4th. He is now back to 12th.
Yeah, as you called out his position, I was just thinking the same thing. Pudjanowski, I mean, you guys that watch his stream, this guy has speed, and it seems like right now he's just having a little bit of difficulty finding it.
A lot of times you'll have speed in a truck, you'll have speed in a cup car, but these Xfinity cars, they are a whole different animal. And I can tell you, a guy like Lucas Gorman, I've personally seen him run an Xfinity car very, very close to a cup car. So, and keep pace with them for a while. So, you know, some of these guys probably have more time in the Xfinity car. You've got almost as much power as a cup car, but nowhere near the downforce. And it does make a track like this that it's not high banked, but the entrance to turn 3 is a killer on tires. And if you know how to get around it, you're great. And if you don't, you're going to go backwards.
Well, and going to your point about the low downforce aspect, it is a whole nother beast than the trucks and the cars, and it's also a lesser driven car. The Xfinity series isn't as popular as the cup cars and the truck cars. A lot of these guys might just not have as much seat time in these specific vehicles as they would in some of the other ones where we see a little bit more closer racing.
This is true as well. You don't. The Xfinity series are the ones that probably get the least amount of love. The trucks are loved by just about everybody, and the cup cars, it's hit and miss on those. But you always have a big group because they're the higher class, and everybody wants to get there and run them. Until you get there and run them and realize sometimes they're great and sometimes they're terrible. But the trucks and the cup are everybody's favorite. ARCA's everybody's favorite, as we've got one in the wall.
In the wall.
I believe that was Otto Cruz. After charging to the front, he is now dropping back a little bit.
Yeah, I think some of these guys that don't have that seat time, again with the low aero package, you don't have as much downforce, the car's not as stuck to the ground. So what you end up with is a situation where you have a little more float in the front end, a little more wheel spin, and I think those guys in particular are experiencing tire fall off greater than some of those guys that have more experience in these vehicles.
Yeah, and something you'll notice too, the guys that are coming to the front are the guys, other than, I say this with the exclusion of our leader, Kevin McCann, most of these guys have been working their way forward are the guys that are not getting down on the apron on the front straightaway. They're the guys that are staying up there, that bump down onto the apron, the bump back up, and the change in angle wears those tires a lot more. So that's a big part of it.
Yeah, and in this series, TDR versus Pudjanowski, we have the team communication is so in-depth. Almost every driver is in the Discord communicating with others, and I hope they realize that, and they're communicating that to the other guys on their team to help us be a little more competitive towards the end.
I would imagine they are, and I imagine once we start seeing some green flag stops, things are going to get really, really interesting. And I would imagine if we have a caution tonight, it's going to be after one of these green flag stops.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw one at the beginning of one of these green flag stops. The pit road here, while not the most difficult of tracks to get on there on the slow road, it's right there, right at the exit of turn 4. It's going to be difficult to get in there. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a couple cars in the grass just trying to get in there to get that fresh rubber.
Well, as long as the tire doesn't get stuck in the infield, I think we're okay.
I've seen that.
Well, I know we've got a couple of green flag laps here, and you guys, TDR has some special charity stuff going on this weekend.
Yeah, so this weekend we're running a special event through the whole weekend. Any donations to back charities throughout the weekend will go to Pitts Racing. So Pitts Racing is they're a couple of young gentlemen. They run basically a hobby stock car in their area. Is called a Thunder Stock. Really good guys. They actually hosted Andy Shaner, one of the TDR drivers, this weekend. Let him come down to the track, whatever. His son he's on the spectrum, has ADHD. Andy has said he can't take his son anywhere and have a full day of pleasure with his son. There's always, something the kid has to go. It's never a great time all day. These guys took the kid in, gave him a helmet, put him in the car. He spent all day at the track. They didn't leave till 2 a.m. And this young man didn't have, any outbursts, any fits, any issues. So during that race, he had an oil pressure issue. The driver, Jason Pitts, was aware enough to cut the motor off, save the car. Unfortunately, we're going to need a transmission. Of course, we always need an extra set of tires, right? So any donations we take in this weekend, we're going to send right directly to that team to help them kind of carry the mission on, as well as back charities. They're also rocking Makoni Setup Shop logos. They're rocking B&B Wraps logos, both of which are TDR partners.
Awesome. Well, that is a huge week, and I will say that that will be added to the HDSAI website tomorrow to help give you guys some more visibility. We've got a lot of charity stuff going on with our community, and it's great to be able to partner and help with other charities as well as Green Flag Pit Stops are beginning. Lap 32.
Here they come. There goes one out. Oh, there he is. That's what I'm talking about. I think we're going to see 1 or 2 cars on the grass before these green flag pit stops cycle through.
It looks like we've got Patrick Ritter, Auto Cruise, man, things are updating so quickly. Mike Butler, Dean Webb, Aaron Johnson, Pudge is on pit road, Kevin Bernheimer, Bradley Hunt, and I would imagine that our leader is coming to pit road right now.
This is going to shake things up, and I don't know if we're going to see a lot of team play on the pit strategy. I think everyone's going to come in and get their tires because I think they're all tired of being out there on old tires.
Definitely. Interestingly, Derek Turner, James Krause, Blair Patterson, and Lucas Gortman all stay out. Lucas Gortman, I guarantee you, has saved some tires and fuel out there, so he could probably go further than anybody right now. Derek Turner's another one that definitely can. He knows how to wheel these Xfinity cars. He's in another Xfinity series I broadcast, and he definitely knows how to get these cars around. So we'll see how far they can stretch it. Looks like Lucas Gorman's coming to pit road, and Turner stays out another lap.
Yeah, and quick shout out to Derek Turner. He's actually part of VP Racing Fuels. He has actually got VP Racing Fuels to be a partner of TDR. Well, they don't invest a lot of money in our organization. We get tons of VP Racing stickers, calendars that we'll give out sporadically throughout the year at our events.
Yeah, they are huge, and that is, I know Derek and VP Race Fuels, they do a lot for a lot of different leagues that he's involved in and help out with all the relative charities as well, whether it be the stickers and the giveaway stuff or money-wise. So huge shout-out to that group as well. Blair Patterson and DJ Powell now to pit road. Derek Turner, James Krause, Justin Swafford, Dustin Velhusen, I do believe, are the only ones that have not come to pit road yet.
I'm surprised they're still out there. I would expect at this point, within the next lap or two, these guys have to come in and get some fresh rubber or they're going to get left behind.
Derek Turner looks like he's about to duck low. Yes, he is. He is coming to pit road now. We'll see. James Krause is coming to pit road. Swafford stays out. Oh, wait a minute. Oh. Yep, he stayed out, as did Velhusen. They're right there together.
Swafford is gambling that there's going to be a yellow in 2 laps, and I don't think that's a wise bet.
Probably not. Everybody else has managed to cycle through the pit stops very cleanly so far, so we'll see what happens here. But this thing has stayed green almost halfway, so it's a big, big gamble to expect a caution. However, as we mentioned in pre-race, these tires, on cold tires, when you come out here, you're really loose off turn 2 and a little bit loose off of turn 4, and that can make things very, very, very interesting.
Yep. And it looks like Velhusen, they're all about to overtake the Swafford, who stayed out.
Interesting that Scotty Too Hottie is still out there. I do not believe he is pitted.
Oh, really?
Let's check the pit standings, but I do not believe Scott has not pitted. Veldhusen and Harton have not pitted.
Well, Scott might not be the smartest man, but he's certainly brave, isn't he?
That he is, and he's gotten a lot smarter over the last year. I was mentioning to a friend recently that we used to have the situation where Scott would get frustrated and then became a battering ram, and he has calmed down and learned a lot of strategy lately, which makes it very, very frustrating when you race with him.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to get a text message from him after I've insulted his intelligence. Hopefully he's calmed down enough that he won't be too hard on me for saying what I just said.
I think you need to worry more about Becky, because she already said, hey. Looking through, we've got Crazy Vet Fam and, let's see, Keith Fonseca. Becky is always cheering. Jason Coleman. And a good
We
group.
got a car in the grass.
Let's see if we can find who went off the track. I do believe it was Veldhusen.
That seemed to come out of nowhere.
Yeah, he just lost it off of turn 4.
Well, he kept it together. He's going to lose a couple spots out of that, but at least he didn't wrinkle the sheet metal.
And I obviously put the wrong replay thing up there, but it'll work for tonight. Kevin McCann has regained the lead and 7 seconds over Jordan Sims. Patrick Gitter still in third. Adam Ricci now up to 4th. Biggest mover so far, though, Dean Webb, who started in 17th, now up to 7th. And he's got Lucas Gortman just a little ways in front of him in 6th. In fact, Adam Ricci, Kenny Hyde, Lucas Gortman have all picked up 5 spots from their starting position. Dean Webb has picked up 10. And in 8th place, Mike Butler has picked up 6 positions. Let's see. Christopher Rawlings is another one that's picked up quite a few positions. And also another one, he races with Derek on Wednesday nights in an Xfinity car. He's picked up 9 spots since the start of the race, so I fully expect to see him come up even more.
Yeah, one thing, as less popular as the Xfinity cars are, I noticed both teams tend to pick a lot of guys that do run a regular Xfinity league.
That would make sense in this situation. You've got a couple of guys out there that I know personally, and I've seen them run, like Chris Rawlings and a couple others, Derek, that run in another series. And the other series they run in, they also have a deal where they only run 40 to 50% fuel loads. So these guys are always used to working strategy in these cars, and that is going to be huge for them as well.
Well, I know, doing my math, the pit window is roughly 35 laps. We're going to look at another pit stop at least around lap 70. I think that's going to be very interesting as we come to towards the end of this race. Some guys, no, I don't think anybody can make it on fuel.
No, mathematically nobody could make it, as Jordan Sims' second place car scrapes the wall coming through the turn. Got some heavy damage to the right rear now.
That'll slow you down.
Yeah, it certainly did, and I believe Patrick Gitter might take second place here going off into turn 1. Side by side, Patrick has the high line. That's not the preferred line. However, that side of the track has been picking up a lot of speed the last 10 or 15 laps. Right before the pit stops, you could tell the outside line was finally starting to build some grip up there.
Yeah, and just a quick analysis of the field up front. When this race first started, we saw a lot of blue cars up front, and I feel like Pujanowski might be edging out a lead right now.
It might be. Well, we've only got one Let's see. First place is a TDR. Then Patrick Gitter. Just looking through my list here. Jordan Sims is in a blue TDR car.
Sims went TDR.
Yes, he did.
Oh, he was one of the drivers who was on the fence.
I bet you Pudge is kicking him right about now.
Oh, certainly.
And yeah, it looks like a lot of blue cars up there. The first Pudge car is in 5th place. I'm worried about Pudge's leg hair right now. And
Well, I was
we've
just gonna say, you said that Pudge was kicking him. The kicks will be much swifter without hair to slow that leg down.
This is true, and we've had an incident with Mike Butler and Derek Turner. Oh, looks like the 14 just came down a little bit. He got loose off a turn 4. They managed to keep it straight enough. The yellow finally comes out.
Yep, first yellow of the day, and what do you do here? You just came in for fuel and tires. I know tire wear is not major here, but it is a factor. You think probably 10th place back takes tires?
10th place is Pudge, so it's going to be a strategy call on their part. But if I was anywhere from about 8th place back, I think I would take it. Actually, 7th place, James Krause, who started up in 3rd. I would say from there on back, you come in, you at least take fuel, if not tires. A lot of cars got trapped a lap down by staying out longer. And we'll see one of them should be waved around. That should be Mike Butler. But you've got Greg Brazow, Derek Turner, Scott Snodgrass, Anthony Karen, DJ Powell, Andy Shaner, Justin Swafford. Just a ton of cars, like half the field. We've only got 12 cars on the lead lap at the moment.
Wow. You know, one thing I like about these tracks too is the way that the pit strategy can shake out. So you come in and take fuel and hope for one more stop. Like this is going to be really interesting as we cycle through these pit stops under yellow.
What's really interesting is the leader just came to pit road.
Well, that means everybody gets to come to pit road, right?
Well, here's an interesting tidbit. A lot of cars are coming to pit road, but I thought I saw some Pudge cars staying out.
Yeah, I see some TDR cars out too. So it's everyone has the opportunity. If the leader goes in, everyone has a chance to come. And a few guys now they're gambling by staying out.
Well, a lot of these guys that are going to stay out from 12th place back, that's going to put them between the leader and the pace car. That'll give them the opportunity to get back to the lead lap, get a last-minute pit stop. They might lose a little bit of ground on a restart if they have to stay out, but you know it plays out, puts them back on the lead lap, and all the cars are packed back up for the first time since the start of the race. So a higher possibility of an incident here.
Well, since we had some technical difficulties early on in the race, since we're under yellow, do you want to try to go ahead and get Lucas back up here in the booth and see how he's feeling about the event?
Oh, we talked to Lucas. Why don't we pull in, who else did you have?
Oh, you guys actually got to talk to Lucas.
Yeah.
Good. On my list, I know the McCanns are a man of few words. Adam Ricky's a man of few words. Let's pull in Veltuzi. We've said his name a lot. I don't think we've talked to him yet during this series.
No, we haven't.
Give me just 1 second to get him queued up here. All my wires are still crossed up here. I basically put everything back together and didn't really organize it. Hey, Dustin, this is Tommy up in the booth. You got a read on us, buddy? Dustin, this is Tommy up in the booth. You got a read on me? Well, I guess Dustin's radio is not working.
Apparently not.
Drop him back in there. On my side, most of these guys we've talked to, I've got here, let me bring in one of the Canadians. So Team 1 for TDR is comprised of 3 Canadians and Christopher Rollins. I'm going to bring in Greg Brazow, who is the uncle of Shanna Harton, the only female racer in this event.
Cool.
Hey, Greg, this is Tommy up in the booth. You got a read on me, buddy? Greg, this is Tommy up in the booth. You've got your radio on mute. Goodness gracious! Let's throw Greg back to where he belongs. It's funny, but before these races, now you guys out there watching the race, you don't understand. We go through extensive efforts to make sure everybody's queued up, their microphone sounds good, they understand what's going on, and you know, they just want to drive that car, don't they?
It all goes wrong the minute we go live. Everything falls apart.
Of course, of course. I hope the viewers out there understand technical difficulties galore tonight. Do you want to try one from Pudge and Nowski? Maybe they have their radios together.
Let's see here.
I'm sure you can see all the green lights on the radios.
Let's see if we can get a hold of Patrick Gitter.
Hey, Patrick, this is Tommy up in the booth. You got a read on me?
Yes, sir. 10-4.
Hey, Patrick, you're currently running in third. Had a little scrape with the wall earlier, but you're back up, working your way back through the field, and you seem to have a pretty fast car. You got something for McCann and Kraus up there?
Oh man, we'll see. They're running really good tonight. We're going, well, running some good laps. Got some guys behind us on our team, so we'll just kind of try to stay up in this pack we got here and see if we can keep up with them.
All right, man. Well, best of luck to you. Pace car's about to drop off, so go get her.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
That go-getter. Very clever.
Yeah, I didn't even mean for that one. Green flag in the air, and James Kraus gets a bit of a jump on McCann. How long does it take McCann to get back around, though? And looking at the top 10, there's a lot of blue cars. Gitter does not have a lot of help up there.
No, and I think with McCann, without the brother there to help him, the McCanns are fast, even individually. I've noticed without his brother, he is not running away like he would if it was a Brian Kevin team.
Yeah, he is still quite fast. He has opened up a lead, but I really think you're right. I mean, at Michigan, we saw him just open up a huge lead together, and then just not quite the same.
Yeah, they work together so well. It's almost like a match made in heaven. With just one of them out here, he's doing well, but I don't think that... Well, he might win, but it's like 70% now instead of 90.
In the meantime, looks like Pudge has found a little something. He's back. He had slipped back to about 12th. He's now back up to 8th. He's got a lot of his team right there with him. He's got, looks like Kenny Hyde Jr. up there and several other drivers. So he's got a little bit of help, but he is actually leading his team through the field as it gets really sketchy off too.
Yeah. And it's good to see, and going back to where we talked about the different lines they're running and who is fast and who is slow, it seems like the team communication has filtered down to where these guys are running better lines, taking better care of their equipment, and maintaining that speed. It's really good to see Nowski coming back to the front of the pack.
Yeah, it gets a little sketchy when he comes up off of the apron there, getting into turn 1, though. There's 4 of them there. I'm guessing he heard us talking about getting his legs waxed and got a little worried.
His ears were burning.
Gortman, meanwhile, has picked up 7 spots since the start of the race. He had only moved his way up to about 9th. He is now up to 4th. And Ricci is now moved up into 2nd place.
Yep, two names I told you to watch out for on that TDR side. I run with these guys, week in, week out, and they are stupid fast. Stupid fast.
I can speak from experience that Lucas is, and Adam is definitely showing his strength here tonight, but Matt, he is starting to come to the front, and he has got the team together now. He's got Kenny right in front of him, James right behind him, Otto right there with him. They've got a 5-car field, or a 5-car pack there from about 6th back to 10th is all Pudge cars. But kind of a mix up in the top 5, and we're scoring the top. Was it the top 20 cars?
Well, so so I mentioned that the first season, and I don't think I ever readdressed it. The way it's going to work is every car gets scored.
Caution is out.
Oh wow.
Marty Brown.
Oh, Marty.
We'll have to rewind it a hair here to see what exactly happened as we caught it. Try this one more time here. It looked like...
It seems like they're already slowed down at this point.
It looked like a car up in front of him got loose, and he could not avoid it.
Oh.
That's exactly what happened.
Oh, it looks like a little love tap at the end of that there.
Yes, there was. I don't think he was happy, but as we mentioned, cold tires, guys are going to be getting loose 3 to 4 laps, and everybody's coming to pit road again.
Yeah, I think until the fuel window closes, that's the right move. It's basically follow the leader. First car that goes in, every car behind it has to go. I don't see as many gamblers out there as we did last time.
No, it looks like everybody on the lead lap is now coming to pit road. Probably
I
have
think
a few cars a lap down that are going to stay out, put themselves in a position to get a lap back. But Anthony Karen is the first one, and 18th. He's the first car 1 lap down. So we'll see if he stays out or he got the lucky dog. So Bernheimer will be the one. We'll see if he stays out.
Yeah, and I think we're getting close to that magical fuel window. Can you make it to the end? Can you save enough? We're not there yet, but every pit stop's an opportunity to be the guy that can make it on fuel.
It's going to be close. Some of these guys might be able to make it from here. These guys that are staying out, that are getting their wave around, they won't have time to get to pit road and get 4 tires and fuel, so they're going to have to gamble a little bit. But I do believe we'll see Kevin Bernheimer and Scotty Too Hottie stay out for a little bit. These guys behind them, though, looks like we're already seeing a few looking to. Jim Dowman is hopping to pit road. And it looks like it's actually a fairly even split where the Nowski boys that are a lap down are staying out. The TDR guys that are a lap down are going in.
Interesting. Well, that puts a couple more Nowski guys in the mix and a couple TDR guys. They're going to do well a lap down.
Very much so. And it looks like, well, Kevin Bernheimer started to make the move around the pace car a lap early, but it does look like he's going to get the wave around. I do believe Scotty Too Hottie will, John Lucido, Greg Brazow, and Shanna Harton all will get waved around.
Yeah, Greg Brazow and Shanna, another shout out to them from the TDR side. They are they're Canadian family. It's an uncle and niece combo. Shanna Harton actually races race cars in real life. She is 16 or 17 years old, I believe.
I believe somebody said 17 earlier today, which made me turn to my youngest and say, what is your problem?
Well, I know she races in the TDR Friday Night Lights series, and she definitely has the speed to keep up there with the big boys.
That is awesome. It looks like she was currently back in 23rd, but she'd had some problems earlier on, got shuffled back in that mix. She'd actually started in 18th, had worked her way up to about 15th, and then got caught in one of those big packs, and as everybody shuffled around, there's a scary sight. You got 3 Nowski Nation cars, and then right behind them, a whole bunch of blue.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So these guys should get waved around here any minute. We'll check back in. Kevin Bernheimer's coming around. Scott's coming around. Lucido's coming around. Greg's coming around. Shanna's coming around. So these will all be back on the lead lap. Everybody else that was a lap down that went ahead and pitted, they're now trapped pretty much a lap down. It's going to be very difficult for them to get their laps back. And
yeah, it looks like TDR controls the top 4 and then back through the top 10. It's Nowski Nation the rest of the way.
And that is going to be interesting for the points. That might save some leg hair for somebody.
Yeah, first place is very important, but again, actually we never got to address it. So the way the points are actually being scored is every car points. If for some reason 15 cars don't make it on one team, the other team drops a car. So if only 14 showed up for TDR, for example, Nowski would only be able to score 14 cars. But every car will score points in these events.
And then they are compiled, and we will find out later tonight or tomorrow who it was. But as it stands right now, I think Nowski would get it as we get ready to go back to green.
Yeah, I'm not good at math, but I'm good at watching racing. Here we go.
And McCann gets a good jump on the field again, but now look who is up in second. It is Lucas Gordman. Ricci in third, and here comes Pudge. He's got fourth now, and still looks like he's having some connection difficulties. Jordan Sims is up to fifth. Patrick Gitter back to sixth. Kenny Hyde is 7th. Dean Webb 8th. Kraus is 9th. Butler is 10th. And Christopher Rawlings is starting to work his way up.
Yeah, and I'm surprised Christopher Rawlings, he does have some speed on pavement. I don't know if we have a dirt race scheduled, but Christopher Rawlings has to show up for that. That guy has tremendous speed on dirt.
Oh, yes, he does. I get to watch him and call his races on Monday nights, and I will tell you that from experience, he just is really fast in just about anything, and he is improved exponentially in the Xfinity cars on Wednesday nights. So definitely one to watch. I do believe there was a dirt race scheduled for later in the season, but there was some discussion about replacing it with the new next-gen cars.
Well, let's not get started with the new next-gen cars. Let's worry about what we got going on here.
yeah, don't get me started on the next-gen cars.
Goodness gracious.
Meanwhile, the top three have lined up single file, and here comes Pudge trying to take third place.
I think you might have it with a little help there.
Yeah, and Gitter drops down to the way low, cutting off the run from behind. They get down into 1 and 2. Pudge has some help there.
Get her.
Get her done.
Get her done. Man, that last name is so marketable.
Yeah, he could do anything and make $1 million.
You know, it looks like Gitter's getting sorted to the outside there.
He might actually have the run. It looks like Nowski is struggling down there on the inside. I don't know if it has to do with the connection issue or if he is just not got a good feel for the car. With 25 laps to go, I did some quick math, and the guys that pitted should be able to make it. They'll be very close, but they will easily make it. The guys that stayed out and got their laps back, that's going to be very sketchy. They're going to have to save some fuel. But taking a look back, Bernheimer hasn't picked up many positions. Snodgrass hasn't picked up many. Lucido, those guys, they have the slightly older tires, and even though it was 3 or 4 laps.
Had a car up in the wall there. Looks like he got sorted out. No incident.
It looks like these guys, like Scotty Too Hotty, they're gonna be struggling. They're gonna have to save a little bit of fuel.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like you said, they're gonna be close. Close is very nerve-wracking, and sometimes close means losing.
Yes, it does, and it looks like Aaron Johnson, went off track. Let's see what happened there. He had a little help there.
Yeah.
And got another car. Everybody keeps it off the track and it stays green, but a couple of different cars, and caution is now out for that incident.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Aaron Johnson's actually part of the Back Sports broadcast team. He does a part-time stint over there. He is one of the best race callers I've ever heard in my life.
But not the best. You're talking to the best.
Of course. I said one of. No, he has this very deep voice, very monotone. I don't know, really impressive individual. He's actually a rock doctor.
Geologist?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, we call him the rock doctor.
Nice.
Yeah, very impressive individual. And his race calling, he actually, what is his? JIRT. G-I-R-T, or J-I-R-T, Johnson iRacing team. He does 2 of the TDR events are Saturday morning Legends and Saturday morning ARCA races. He does a tape delay broadcast on his YouTube channel.
Cool.
Yeah, good stuff, man. You should check it out. His voice is just, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. You and I, we're good callers, but we have ugly voices. His voice is beautiful.
You're gonna make me sing, aren't you? Trust me, nobody will.
You do karaoke?
No. But remind me sometime we're not on the air, I'll tell you about some of that.
Surely will.
There's some things I just don't need shared publicly. I have a hard enough time keeping my kids quiet about it. It looks like everybody on the lead lap except for Justin Swafford has been to pit road.
And this solves the fuel equation, right? Everybody's going to be good to go after this.
And it also solves the tire equation for those guys that had to stay out and get their laps back, like Bernheimer, Snodgrass, Karen, Lucido, Brazel, Harton. All of them now on the lead lap, on a fresh set of tires, and on fuel, full tank of fuel. We'll see what they can do with it. Justin Swafford, if he does not go to pit road, he is going to get runned over.
And do we have a car out of fuel? Or, oh no, he's letting cars go by. Okay.
Yeah, they were getting sorted out. I thought that for a minute because he stopped quite suddenly, but he's one that, especially with these pace laps, he can make it. We just had one duck back down pit road. He was a lap down car. Him staying out, he can now make it on fuel, but those tires are so much older. Let's take a look at his pit strategy here and see. Well, he stopped 12 laps ago versus everybody else stopping just now, so he'll have a little bit older tires, and it might start to show rather quickly.
Well, I don't think tires are going to be make it or break it here, but like you said, pit strategy settled, the math is over. However, another yellow a couple laps in is going to put the XYZ back in that mathematical algebraic tire equation.
Yeah, and here's another one. With the pit stops, apparently the TDR guys got the on and off pit road figured out, because it went from the Nowski Nation boys having most of the top 10 to now it looks like either very evenly balanced or a slight lean to TDR.
Yeah, from up here, it looks like 6-4 in the top 10.
Does indeed.
But every point matters outside the top 10. It's Nowski, 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 Nowski. And then we go back to an even mix.
This could get very, very dicey, and you got to think Pudge is sitting there asking his team where they are, and please pick up as many positions as possible. He doesn't want to get his legs waxed.
Well, I think during our interview attempts under the last yellow, we know Nowski Nation has better ability to operate their radios. So maybe these last few laps we have going here, they'll be able to communicate and come together a little bit more than we've seen earlier on in this race.
We certainly hope so. But they've got one driver in the lead, but he has no friends up front right now.
No, unless he's able to hold back. I mean, you got McCann up there, you got Gortman up there, you got Ricky. I don't see one person holding off that team of three, and I think he's going to get cycled back to where his buddies are pretty quick.
Definitely, with McCann having the outside line on the restart, we've seen the outside line starting to come in, especially on the restart. You don't have to pinch the car down, and you can carry a lot more speed in, and getting loose isn't as big of a problem. So I think that outside line is just going to come flying by him.
Yep, I would anticipate the same. And the two guys on the bottom, I expect them to go up high, and their buddies will let them fall in. It's going to be a very TDR oriented restart as that pace car comes off the track.
If Justin's smart, he'll get a good jump here, but he is waiting. He waited for the green flag, so he does not get a big jump on the restart. But Swafford, he gives Swafford enough gives Gortman enough, to get under McCann. Gortman lets McCann drop in front of him, at least for the moment. And we've got a wreck coming in through turn one.
Yeah, last few laps, they're going to get a little closer together and a little more dicey.
Looks like Christopher Rawlings.
No, he was just dirt tracking it.
Yeah, he was. And Shanna Hartman.
Same to see Shanna getting beat up there. Very young lady, coming into this series with, quote, the big boys. We see a lot of speed out of her. It's a shame to see her wrecked out this early.
And it was no fault of hers for sure. It looked like somebody got loose in the middle of 1 and 2. Everybody tried to avoid it, but in the process of trying to avoid a wreck, sometimes you just end up in one.
Yep, story of my life.
Mine too. And don't forget to check out, there is the website, bacccharities.com. Don't forget to check them out. As we mentioned, there's more stuff on htsai.net, including the schedule for these seasons. You can check that out as well on the broadcast page. And I am sure we'll have something up for BACC Charities tomorrow as well to help you guys out with your current charity drive. I went blank.
Yeah, Doug, we appreciate that. Again, Pit Racing, a local team up there in Indiana. These guys have a ton of heart. They've actually got 3 race cars. You know, 2 of them are donor cars. They got one that actually runs. And they just had an unfortunate time last weekend with that oil pressure loss. They were able to save the motor, but the transmission is the big thing for them right now. So they don't need a ton of money. We don't need you guys to give a ton of money, but every little bit you give, we're gonna throw their way and try to get them back on the track as they rock those back charity and McConey setup shop logos.
Awesome. All right, so looks like Swafford only lost 1 position, at least by the time the scoring came up. That's going to put him on the outside, but the last few restarts when McCann was in the lead, he just checked out from the field right off the bat. I'm beginning to wonder if he has a nitrous tank hidden in there. He just takes off so quickly, and once he's gone, he is gone, and nobody can catch up to him. But it is still a TDR front pack in the top 10, and looking just outside the top 10, Anthony Karen has been working his way up after coming back from being a lap down. And starting in 24th, he is now up to 14th. Scott Snodgrass has recovered. He is up from 21st to 16th. And John Lucido, the other big mover, started in 28th and currently up to 18th.
And we got some guys making some big moves. It's good to see Scotty Tuhati really coming through that pack and making his way back up. He's someone you expect to run up front up there with Pudge and help him out. And it'd be nice to see them get their bumpers together and really try to, salvage what they've got going on up here with TDR up at the front rows.
Yeah, I fully expect to see Scott come through this field. I've raced him here, but in a cup car, and he was extremely tough to get around. So, and you've got to love that. You personally got to love that inside line being all blue.
Well, we can't be biased up here in the
That's
booth,
true.
but I am a big fan of the color blue tonight. So we'll leave it at that.
And I have to cheer on my buddies Scotty Tuhati and Kevin Bernheimer as well. So it's a little bit tough, but Bernheimer is back in 15th. He's on fresh tires. He's got full fuel, and he's got several cars in front of him. I'm sure he can get around. He said his main goal was just to save it. We'll see if he can do that, but I'd imagine before this is all said and done, he's going to be up here helping out his team as well.
Do you know how many laps do we have left? I'm looking at my scoreboard. I can see the positions, but for some reason I can't see the lap counter.
It's less than 20. I'm looking. I think I have everything up for me scoring except for that. Oh, we've got 1 to green, so we'll find out here in just a minute.
They are looking really racy up front there. TDR on the inside, Pujanowski on the outside, 4 back.
Yeah, and then you've got looking like the Pujanowski boys are starting to creep back up there. They got more of their cars, as obviously we saw a couple of TDR cars, about 3 of the TDR cars, but no Pudge cars involved in that accident. Everybody got repaired. Everybody's back out on track, but looks like the Nowski Nation boys have managed to use that one incident to their advantage.
Yeah, those 4 back on that inside line, it's the TDR All-Stars, and there's a whole army of Pujanowski 1 winners all around them.
That's definitely got to be making Pudge, who's in 6th, very, very happy.
Indeed, indeed. As we come around, the pace car's going off.
Green flag is in the air with 14 laps to go. Be 13 laps at the line. This might get a little bit wild as McCann takes off the front row. Gortman in 2nd. A little further back, Swafford's still holding on to the top 5. He's got several teammates coming around, though. Everybody gets sorted out, though.
Car sitting in 4th without the blue, I believe that's Greg Brazeau. who is TDR but not running the TDR scheme. Is that correct?
That is Patrick Gitter in the 12 car.
Okay. I think Greg normally runs 12 in TDR leagues. That's what had me confused.
And here comes the Nowski Nation boys as they form a little pack of their own. The TDR guys have 1, 2, 3, and are fighting for 4th right now. But I would not want to be in one of those blue cars looking in my mirror right now.
No, talk about David versus Goliath. Is the Goliath the all-stars up front for the TDR, or is Goliath that massive pack of white, black, and orange?
Oh, as we got one going off track on the front straightaway, Jordan Sims.
Yeah, corner my eye, definitely a blue car.
He got loose off 4, got one of the Nowski Nation cars across the nose, gets in the wall, drifts across the track. No caution yet. Everybody manages to keep it clean. He kept it off the track, but we'll have to take a look here. I think he might have actually gotten into Pudge himself.
Oh, no.
Because he just dropped like a rock suddenly.
Yeah, I saw a Nowski car in the wall during that incident, but it was I'm too far up here in the booth to really be able to see the number.
Okay, now Pudge did get hit, and we had another accident bringing out the caution with Jim Dowman. Let's see, dives off into turn number 1. And it looks like it might have been just an iRacing glitch.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see Jim spinning around there.
No, he did not spin around. Let's take another look at one more. Well, there it shows him spinning. I think he blinked and spun.
That's what I was just going to say, is he may have had a connectivity issue that rendered him backwards, but we didn't get to see it until he was already there.
That does happen from time to time, and it's it's not only scary for the person driving, it's really scary for the people behind them.
Yeah, and we've talked about this before. iRacing doesn't factor in, random mechanical failures because there's no way to make that fair. And I think the fairness comes in is these random connectivity issues and glitches that are caused. I consider that the mechanical failure of iRacing.
Yeah, and that is definitely a good way to look at it. These guys, I mean, you can blow up an engine if you overheat it, and there's a few other things, like if you shift badly, you can blow a tranny. But at the end of the day, for the most part, the mechanical failures are minimal to non-existent. However, there is an interesting thing. The next tire model apparently will have the ability to blow a tire.
They say the new model will have the ability to blow a tire. I swear, cross my heart, hope to die. I have seen tires blow out already.
This does happen from time to time. If you get one way too hot, it usually happens in an open setup situation. You have guys running too much camber or this or that, leaning on a tire a little too much. They get too much tire wear, the tire gets too hot, and kapow. But
so what you're saying is they're going to add a random tire failure feature?
What it will be more like is they'll have a more realistic situation. You can blow a tire, but you got to push it pretty hard to do so in iRacing.
Oh yeah.
They're going to put it to a more realistic thing, so you don't have Chad Knaus and Ray Evernham doing some crazy setup stuff that. Like we've seen in the past, so that would blow a tire. So it'll be very, very interesting to see as they start to add those kind of features in, and I think we'll see more of those features when the rain comes as well.
Yeah, I think for the first time in my life, I'm going to go ahead and say I'm looking forward to the new tire model.
I'm just blinking right now. It'll definitely be interesting. I go back and forth because one tire model I'm really pretty decent on, and the other one I've been total crap on. So, and you notice that with a lot of different guys, the guys that are fastest, the guys like Lucas Gorman and Kevin McCann, those are the guys that can adapt to both tire models.
Well, the thing is, if you're fast, if you are skilled, you will always be fast and skilled. Adaptation is part of racing in general. Equipment changes, rule changes, safety changes, tire changes. You have to adapt to those changes in order to win. And the guys that are fast will always be fast because they're able to make those adaptations.
And interesting, speaking of that, we've got a lot of cars that just came to pit road, and it looks like most of them are Nowski Nation guys. Nowski himself, Scotty Too Hottie came to pit road. Derek Turner's been on pit road. Aaron Johnson, Marty Brown. Looking to see who else. So a lot of these guys, Pudge had to come down and get some fast repairs after being involved in that incident. But it looks like a lot of these guys came down that didn't need a repair, but they now have fresh tires with 6 laps to go. I don't know how much difference tires are going to make here, but it's going to get a bit dicey up front.
I mean, those fresh tires will feel good, but there's so many cars between that pace car and where these guys are going to end up. I really don't think fresh tires are going to make a big difference with 6 laps to go that far back.
No, Kevin is going to be in 18th. Scott's in 19th. Pudge is back in 24th. Of course, he was the one that had to come to pit road. So you still got a decent mix between the teams in the top 10 right now, though.
I'm glad I don't have Pudge's stream dialed in right now because I guarantee he's going, oh no!
It seems like I've heard that somewhere tonight. Let me take a quick look here. Oh, there it is.
Yep, it's on the back of every car out there. Well, every blue car.
And it does look like Blair Patterson has now worked his way back up into 11th in that pink and brown car as the pace car drops off.
Good for Blair. Here we go.
And Kevin McCann leads him down as the green flag drops. He gets another good jump. Gortman on the high side. Everybody gets single filed in the top 3. And now it's up to Patrick Gitter, Mike Butler, Otto, all of them right there, right behind those 3 TDR cars.
Yeah, those Nowski guys are getting pretty racy. It looks like even with each other.
Caution is out. It looks like Jordan Sims?
Again.
I'm double checking that. Yeah, looks like we have a car get loose back there. And Jordan gets loose and just completely loses it. Could not save it.
Yeah, it looks like 2 self-spins and one was worse than the other.
Yeah, and fortunately one of them saved it, but Jordan managed to keep it down low away from everybody. So nobody else involved this time by. And if you're Kevin McCann, you got to be hating this. He breaks away from the field almost immediately.
Yeah, Kevin McCann, he's almost certain to win in so many events that him and his brother enter, especially when they're together. These guys are used to getting W's all day long. The most frustrated person on the track right now is Kevin McCann.
I might actually have to have Kevin drive my points race tomorrow night for me. And it's Daytona. I could do that with my eyes closed, but
I don't know how much that costs, but I'd like to have Kevin drive all my points races too.
We're going to have to enter into negotiations with the McCanns to have them driving for us.
Do they need an agent? Because I've been looking for a career change.
Exactly. Interesting question. Is Kevin McCann, or either McCann brothers doing Road to Pro this season?
I don't know if they have any interest in that. I feel like they are a couple guys who could go in there and get that done. And, whether or not you actually make it, I think they're of the caliber of driver where, there's a good chance. But I don't know if they have any interest in it. I think they're happy collecting their W's and, just being the prestigious McCann brothers they are amongst the common folk like you and I.
Well, if you've got it, flaunt it, more or less.
Absolutely.
So Kevin McCann has the lead. Lucas Gortman in second. Adam Ritchie in third. Then you got Patrick Gitter, who his car says the number 12. He's actually the 25.
Yes, I knew Greg Brazeau was in the number 12. He runs the number 12 all over TDR.
And Patrick is with Nowski this week. Mike Butler is in 5th. Otto is in 6th. Kenny Hyde in 7th. DJ Powell has 8th. 9th is James Krause, and Blair Patterson is making his way up. He is now being scored in 10th.
And it's good to see Blair coming up there. He's one of the streamers that runs a lot of TDR events. We share his streams, amongst the groups that we have in common. He's got a lot of speed in him, and the past couple of TDR versus Pudge events, he just hasn't been there. He actually won the inaugural, the one before the series was established.
Ah, yes, the one that started everything.
Yes, I don't recall what that was the Ice Bucket Challenge with the Gentleman's Bet.
And there is a rumor that down the line after this this summer and this challenge between these two groups is completed, that my understanding is there's discussions about forming a league around this little battle.
Well, the racing industry runs on rumors. Let's see what happens and how many friends we have left when we're done trading paint.
Well, after last week, I got to say they're all racing a lot cleaner, and I think we're going to see a lot fewer tempers tonight anyway. I think everybody's about ready to just call this one good, and as we mentioned earlier, everybody has calmed down a bit and playing a little bit nicer.
Well, going through the series, we've had a few substitutions, but we have a lot of guys that are going to be running every race in this event, and I think despite all that smack talk that occurs, between the 13 days between these races, these drivers are developing a little bit more respect for each other, and I think that's really showing on the track tonight.
Just looking through the top 10 here, Mike Butler started in 14th. He's up to 9th, or up to 5th now. Lucas Gortman started in 11th, and he's up to 2nd. We've got two cars that have come up through out of the teens, worked their way up, and one from each team. So we'll see if these two guys get side by side as we get ready to go green. See how that comes out. Looks like these two are kind of on equal footing here.
Yeah, good for them. And then looking back to the field, just based on the colors, we got TDR running up front. We got a bunch of Nowski behind them. And then they start to shake out. The points are going to be, at the end of the day, this is very exciting racing. We won't know the outcome until these points are tallied.
No, unless something dramatic happens to those top three cars, and I just don't see it, then no, we won't know the outcome until that's tabulated and posted. As the pace car now drops off, and we'll have 2 laps to go as Kevin McCann takes a green flag with Gortman to the outside again. And I have to think at this point, those 3 guys have just decided, hey, we've got the 3 top cars. Let's finish 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, they're not worried about their teammates. Their teammates' job now is to find them. They are checked out. They are trying to finish this 1, 2, 3 for TDR.
Yeah, and I don't see Lucas pushing as hard as he can. I think they have relegated themselves as Otto is now charging. Coming to the white flag, Otto is on the move, looking for 3rd place, down on the apron. White flag in the air.
Every piece of real estate he can get to try to just get that 3rd spot away. He's to the inside.
And, he drifts up, gets into the side of Adam Ricci, and takes...
But this might shake up a bunch of cars.
We've got a ton of cars wrecked on the back straightaway. We'll have to see what happened there as things shake out. But right now, it's going to be Kevin McCann, Lucas Gortman. Somehow they manage the chaos. Otto Kraus comes home 3rd. Kenny Hyde comes home 4th. Anthony Karen comes home 5th. Becky Flowers is going to love this. 6th place from the back, Scotty Tuati Snodgrass. Then Lucido, DJ Powell, Kevin Bernheimer, and Andy Shaner manages a top 10 out of that. These were guys that were in the mid to late teens getting the white flag, have now made their way all the way up there to the front.
I can't believe that little pink car got in the top 10.
Let's see if we can see what happened.
Goodness gracious.
After it looks just like after the cars got bumped up the track, he got sideways into the wall. Several cars manages to save it and keep going, but a lot of chaos on the back straightaway.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine was watching the truck race with me earlier tonight, and they wrecked right up front. It took almost the whole field out, and I was explaining to her, when a wreck happens up front, It's anybody can win right now, or anybody can improve their position and take some of that purse money home. When they wreck that close to the front, it's going to shake things up as far as the points are concerned.
Well, no surprise, Kevin McCann brings home a win. Gortman comes home second. But then you've got Otto Cruz, Kenny Hyde, Anthony Karen, Scotty Too Hottie, John Lucido. I do believe, looking at this finishing order at the front, I have to think that Pudge's leg hair might be safe.
Yeah, it's I think TDR only had 3 cars in the top 10, 1 in 10th and 2 up front. That's really only 3 points ahead of the grand scheme of things. So in this race, I'm pretty sure Andy's going to lose his leg here. As far as the points for the series, they're either going to be very tight or Pujanowski's going to edge out a points lead when it's all tallied up.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be close. And I know Kevin McCann is very, very quiet, not a big talker. And I bet he. Yeah, let's see if we can talk to him.
Trying to get him queued up here right now. Hey, Kevin, this is Tommy up in the booth. You got a read on us?
Hey, yeah, how's it going?
Hey, congratulations, man. You won the race. Points-wise for TDR, it's not looking great for this event. Series-wise, we won't know until that's all tabulated, but how'd you do it? How'd you get it done? What's the secret? Please give us the McCann secret.
I don't know what to give you. It's it's one of those mile-and-a-half tracks. I felt like saving the right front tire was key tonight, especially on those long runs. So it's just going easy on the tires. Played around a little bit with what line to run there at the beginning once I got a little gap in between me and the second place guy, and it was kind of in Discord. Most of the guys were running that mid to high line on old tires, but I stuck to the bottom, and I think I made that work, and I ended up having better tire wear than those guys did. So I think that was probably the key.
Yeah, man. I mean, as always, you looked really fast out there. Teamwork wise, I mean, you're running up front. Basically, your teammates' job is to keep up with you. You're out there running quick. Point wise, you guys look really good, and we had this wreck in the back with Adam Ricky, shook up the points completely. So like, good job bringing it home. But how do you feel about the teamwork aspect on TDR? Like we know the McCanns run up front. You guys are fast always. How do you feel like the teamwork is of the guys that are running behind you on the TDR side?
I feel pretty good about it, especially those guys, Blair, Adam, and Lucas, and those guys that were in the top 10 tonight. We were discussing strategy calls together, sharing, if we were going to pit, not going to pit, that sort of stuff. And then we were also doing a little strategy where I think one time Adam kind of dropped back to third place on purpose just to hold the guys, the fourth and fifth place up, and make them abuse their tires. So I think there's a lot of teamwork going on tonight.
If you can't have the preferred line, it's good to have 2 friends behind you, right?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I did tell him it's fair game on the last lap, though.
Absolutely.
If you can get
Absolutely.
to me, you got to go for it.
We're all friends to the white flag. Well, Kevin, congratulations. Excellent run out there. Glad to see you up front again, pulling for TDR. Can't wait to see how the points shake out. Are we gonna have Brian in with us in 2 weeks?
Yeah, we should. I'm not sure why he couldn't make it tonight. He had something, but it seems like I didn't make it the last one, and he was there. So we're on this every other one right now. But I think we should both probably be out there next time.
Well, if TDR can pull in one McCann, we love having you. But if we can get both, the brothers McCann, man, you guys work together so beautifully, and I know it's because of the relationship, but like it really shows how good close team communication really pays off in iRacing.
Yeah, definitely. We work together, but like you said, when the white flag comes out, the gloves come off.
Absolutely, we're all friends to the white flag. Well, Kevin, appreciate you running with us. Appreciate you running on the TDR flag. Go pop your bottle of champagne or whatever you do every time you win. we're we're gonna go pull up one of the what is it, 29 losers.
I gotcha. All right. Take care, guys.
Take care,
Thanks.
bud. Good talking to you.
I wonder if Otto is available. We have to ask him about that last lap.
You got to give me his last name because that's how I have them on my sheet.
Oh, Cruz.
Cruz.
Kruse.
Yeah, I got him. Hey, Otto, this is Tommy up in the booth. You got a read on us up here, bud? 03, you got a read on Tommy up in the booth?
Yeah.
Hey, Otto, this is Doug. So, talk us. You had a very fast car. That last restart, you started coming up pretty quickly, and then you got to the inside on the white flag lap, and chaos ensued. Talk us through that.
Well, I mean, I've sent it in on the inside on the last lap, got into his door a little bit, expected him not to wreck him. But I mean, at that point, you just try to move him a little bit. Just tried to rattle his cage, as Earnhardt would say. You know what I mean?
Most definitely. You're lucky it wasn't Terry Labonte. He'd have been right back to your back bumper and probably rattled yours.
No kidding. No, it wasn't an intentional try to take anybody out or anything like that. I was just trying to move him up the track, take the position, and get a solid top podium.
Well, you inadvertently changed kind of the look of the top 10 going into that last lap. TDR had most of the top 10 coming out of that. It looks like Nowski Nation. It looks like Pudge is going to get to save his leg hair this week, and you guys might have closed a little bit on the points.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't intentional by any means, but if it shakes out that way, I mean, it's better for the team, I guess. But I apologize to anybody who I may have caused in that accident. It wasn't intentional by any means. Like I said, just trying to get a spot, driving hard. Had to come back up through the field, had a penalty, got put into the wall. Had a fast car. It just teamwork tonight, guys.
Yeah. Teamwork was really good, and to your point of apologizing, that's what good drivers should do. I think both groups here understand that racing stuff happens. As we just said to Kevin McCann, the winner, we're all friends till that white flag, right?
No doubt. I mean, if it wasn't a white flag, I wouldn't have stuck it in and drove into his door to try to move him up. I didn't think I hit him hard enough to turn him or anything. I didn't quite get to see the replay yet, so I have to go back and watch it.
Right. The apology means more than anything. Racing's racing. It happens. Race is over. Good job, Cruz. You ran an excellent race. I'm sorry for both you and the whole incident. You could have been right up there, and it's just one of those things, man. Good job tonight. Good job tonight.
Thank you very much, Tommy, and appreciate you guys putting these things on. They're a lot of fun, and it's very competitive, and it's nice to see two groups work together to try to beat another group. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think that's the most fun part of this is the teamwork aspect. That whole TDR versus Pujanowski. I think that's really what drives the viewership here.
Well, congratulations on the third place finish, and go celebrate with your team, bud.
All right, thank you, guys. See y'all next time.
All right.
So, before I do it, hear me out. I know Adam Rickey. He's going to be mad, but we can talk to him just like on TV. He will be very copacetic and he won't cuss.
Okay, as long as hopefully he's not here so he doesn't get fined.
No, he won't say anything out of the ordinary. He might blame somebody for something, but he's gonna be on the level. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull him in. Let me talk to him first, though.
Good plan.
Hey, Adam, this is Tommy up in the booth. We know you had an unfortunate incident. I'm sure you're very upset about it. And I'm sure you're going to watch the replay. Are you willing to share what the race was like before that?
What makes you think I'd be upset?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe, a racing deal. No, we talked to Cruz before that. Up in the booth, it didn't look intentional, and as well as we did, that guy raced clean all race, and it's what it was a white flag thing.
Yeah, no, you mean the race was going really well. Kevin, Lucas, and myself, we were working really good on those restarts towards the end to try to get a a TDR 1, 2, 3. It wasn't looking very good for TDR through the top 10 and top 15. So we were going to try to maximize points. And I saw Otto coming on the green white checker, and you can see he was just charging the corners. Just left him a lane, knowing he was going to charge in there, hoping I would have the run up off and have the speed. And we made some contact, and all hell broke loose.
Yeah, it's what's funny about it is like we all know the white flag racing deals happen all the time, right? Somebody overdrives, and or somebody pinches somebody too tight, but it's happening up front. The whole field felt the repercussions of that incident.
Yeah, I think only like 3 or 4 cars made it through unscathed. When we're too wide like that, once I came off the wall, anyone's been on the sim, like when you're trying to steer off and you still got the wheel cut to the left, it just bounces off and comes back across. And I think I got into the 12, who I'd been running with most of the race, pretty clean, and then just went to hell.
Well, if anybody's interested, you can come join TDR, join Adam Ricky's Home Track Hero series on Wednesdays. He will teach you how to stop and avoid an incident.
Yeah, it's all short tracks. Which, by the way, with this series, there isn't a single short track on this thing.
Yeah.
So next time, short tracks. We need more of them.
Maybe we sub one in. We'll bring it up with the group that's involved with this series. We'll see if we can get at least one short track in here for you.
Modified, South Boston. Just saying.
Okay, we heard you. But Adam, really good race. It's unfortunate that the incident happened, but you were looking really good out there as always. We're gonna go ahead and put you back and see if we can't get somebody up in here to talk to us.
Hey, thanks for chatting with me. It's a good time. I really like these events when I can run them.
Absolutely. All right, you got anybody else you want to bring in here, Doug?
Yeah, let's see if we can talk to Scotty Too Hottie, because I want to ask him about the last lap and coming through that.
Hey, Scotty Too Hottie. This is Tommy up in the booth. You got a read on us?
Hey, what's up there, Mr. Tommy? How y'all doing up there, sir?
Hey, Scott, this is Doug. I got to ask, coming out of turn 2 on the last lap, eyes closed?
Oh, no. I just held the gas and let it go. It never lift.
Full send the whole time.
Oh, yeah, that was Days of Thunder all the way.
Well, you managed to clear the smoke, clear the traffic, get through, and you were running about 15th and suddenly come home in 6th place with the last lap incident. And actually, your team ended up turning things around because of that last lap incident.
Oh, yeah, we was just calculating that there. We got 3rd through 9th of the top 10, so yeah, I think Mr. Andy might have some sore legs coming soon.
Yep, we think that's going to happen too, and the points are going to be tight. I'm excited to see the points tabulated for the series. I think you guys might just be in the lead when this is all said and done.
Yeah, we should have the lead. We should have took the lead on this after this race. I do believe so.
It's definitely going to be tight going into the next race, and with the variety of cars and tracks. With it being such a close points battle, extra practice over the next 2 weeks?
Nah. Full send, eyes closed.
Why does that not surprise me from you?
I don't know. You were the one that was doing barrel rolls earlier. I don't know.
I can't imagine why. It couldn't have had anything to do with the 22 car hitting me full speed on their pace lap, could it?
I told you it was the fog. I couldn't see it.
Well, on that note.
Sorry there, Tommy. Yeah,
we did a fun race earlier in the fog in the new cars, and Scott sent me for a barrel roll.
Hey man, that's awesome. We do a bunch of fun stuff at TDR, like our random pop-up races. We don't advertise that crap. It's like if you happen to be around, we're doing some stupid crap right now. But But Scotty, you ran a great race, big comeback, and to come out 6th, good job. I think you guys are going to have the lead when all the points are calculated out.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking the way I'm kind of somewhat quickly added it. We should have the lead overall, and then especially going into ARCA at Kansas next race. So That one's going to be pretty interesting, I feel, with the ARCA cars.
One last
Yeah.
one last question for you, and I'm sure you were talking to Pudge during the race, but after that last lap caution and seeing where the points were, big sigh of relief from him.
I think he's still pretty much kind of on the edge until we final tally, you know. But we were all just dinner talking.
Pujanowski on edge? Nah. How about now?
Did you see he was wearing seatbelts now so he don't lean out of the chair?
Yeah, I did.
That is hilarious.
We should make T-shirts that have like the 6-point harness just printed on the T-shirt. For all you streamers out there who can't afford a 6-point harness.
I'll take one.
Right.
If you need a set of seatbelts, I got a set of extra seatbelts that came with my rig.
I'm good.
Okay.
Not until I get my rig that turns upside down. Once I get the upside down turning rig, yeah, I'll buy some seatbelts. So hold on to them for me.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
All right, man. Well,
Yeah,
congratulations.
that last coming out of turn 2, it was definitely that's a Days of Thunder moment. Drop the hammer, let's go.
Yeah, you made it.
Well, great save, great recovery, Cole, and go celebrate with the rest of your team, bud.
All right, guys, appreciate it. Thank you all for hosting. Hope you all had a good time up there.
We did.
Save some popcorn for me.
Yeah, brother. Thanks for putting on the show. So, I've got to at least pull Andy in. He managed a top 10 in that pink car.
Yeah.
I believe it's his first top 10 in this whole series. We won't bring that part up, but let's congratulate him on his top 10.
Definitely.
I know he deserves it. All the work he puts in behind the scenes, this guy is pivotal in making this whole series come together, along with Pujanowski. Hey, Andy, this is Tommy up in the booth. You finished in the top 10 in a little pink car. Andy. Oh, he must be out celebrating. I'm going to leave him actually in the booth. He'll chime in a second. Do you have anybody else from it looks like Pujanowski already dropped out of the radio comms. On your side, I've got Butler, Gitter, Cruz, Snodgrass, Webb. Did we talk to Gitter after the whole Gitter thing?
No, I didn't. Don't think we did, but we didn't get to talk to our Canadians either.
Nope. Canadians left too. We got Derek Turner on TDR side. We got Derek Turner. Do you want to hear the smooth voice of Aaron Johnson?
Yes, let's bring in the smooth voice of Aaron Johnson.
All right. Again, he's not the best race caller out there, but that voice is killer. Hey, Aaron, this is Tommy up in the booth. You got a read on me?
I can hear you, Tommy.
Not the best race out there, not the best finish. Really not a lot to talk about points-wise. I'm sure you've already done the math. You're a smart guy. I've told our broadcaster here, Doug, that we call you the Rock Doctor, affectionately, over at TDR. But what I really sold you on was that race calling voice. Would you give a little bit of example for Doug here?
Sure. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and turn my screen on, and then I'll just call some action.
Yes. Give us like 60 seconds of it. We're waiting on Andy to come back. We really want to talk to Andy, but we guess he's out of the car right now celebrating his 10th place finish.
All right, give me 1 second.
I'm telling you, Doug, this guy, the voice, it's not so much the race calling itself, it's that monotone voice. We had an accidental butt dial in our little admin chat that we have. 13 guys on one call. Everyone's looking at the screen confused. Aaron, cool as a cat, turns his phone on. He's eating this massive cheeseburger and drinking a beer. Hold on,
pull me in here?
Yeah, but I got to meet you for a second. Hold on, we'll bring you right back.
All right, you ready?
If you're not going to show up when I bring you in here, you're not going to be the priority. Go ahead, Aaron.
All right, here we go. Give me 1 more second.
Oh, no, you got to be faster than that.
Down the back straightaway, it's Jacob Morgan on the outside, Johnson on the inside. Johnson looks to the inside, the 2 cars touch. Johnson gets a little sideways. Morgan turns down underneath. Now Morgan tries to get past Johnson as they come out of 4. Up the side. Oh, they're up together again. Now one more time. This time Morgan gets sideways. Johnson gets a little tap onto the apron, now trying to miss the crash and ends up spun into the infield. That's going to put Aaron Johnson into the grass and Jacob Morgan on around. The caution is out. It'll be Lucas Gortman with the lead as the pace car picks up the field.
Beautiful. We gave a shout out to Jurt. I told Doug, of course Doug's the best,
I quit.
but you're definitely in, the top two.
So I took over as a tech inspector at Colorado National Speedway about 2 weeks ago, and that's gonna it's gonna take up my Saturday nights, and I missed the vets broadcast. So I'm sitting there thinking, man, how do we broadcast something on a Friday or a Sunday evening that we can get back into? That would be a ball.
Well, we'll work on it. Us guys at Back Sports, like we've had you on the team a couple of times. Your play calling is phenomenal. That voice you have is phenomenal, and I hope by the time I get done talking to you, your head's small enough you can fit through your door. But
well, I appreciate it. I believe it or not, I got to give a TED talk once, and I learned more about how to modulate my delivery because they gave me a coach. And so this isn't just natural. I had a lot of help learning how to do things like that.
Yeah, it's apparent. The professionalism, like, it comes off. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring you in is for Doug. And I know we're still live, Doug. I'm not, like, calling you out. You're a great play caller. But this guy, Aaron Johnson, oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that was really great. No, I quit. I'm done.
No, don't quit. Improve.
Hey, man.
Learn.
Hey, man, one of these days, let's do one together.
Hey, that sounds great.
I would love to do that. I think that'd be absolutely a ball.
Awesome.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and throw you back, Aaron. We appreciate that 30-second demonstration of your skills, and I look forward to seeing you working with Doug. If you guys can work that out, I think you'd be a great addition to How to Suck at iRacing.
I would love to do it, if nothing else, just to come in and see how some of you folks that get to stream this stuff live do it, because I most of the time have to do it in Memorex, and so I'll have a recording and call it cold, so I've never seen it. But doing it live, that's another step up. So I admire you guys for being able to do it.
Absolutely, Aaron. Well, not a great finish, not a great race for you, but man, your voice is stone cold smooth.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. Have a good evening. Let's go ahead and get Andy up here. Hey, Andy, this is Tommy in the booth. You got a read on me?
He felt rejected and walked away.
Well, no, he's sending me messages. We have to skip Andy. He's trying to talk to Pudge.
I gotcha.
Yes, they're chatting. We shouldn't be in that conversation from what I'm gathering. And I'm willing to bet it involves that last lap incident.
Yeah, there's probably some warm discussion going on right now about that.
Well, I'm not sure if they chose the warm wax or the cold wax, but I guarantee there's some discussion going on about who's losing hair.
Yeah. Well,
sir, that was a race.
That was definitely interesting. A very green first half and then a very caution-filled second half.
Very much. The point shakeup, obviously Pujanowski took the race. TDR, 1-2. 1 and 2 doesn't matter in team points racing. Pujanowski's got the W for the series, or for the event. How does the math shake out for the series? I think Pujanowski comes out on top by a tiny margin. But
It was
we won't know that until the numbers are done.
Yeah, it was about 20 points coming into tonight, I think. And, if they didn't, I'll be very shocked with them taking third through ninth.
Yeah, well, the hardest part is, we look at the top 10 a lot. We figure kind of what they're going to point, what they're going to make. But with that shakeup at the end, I didn't pay attention to who finished like 12th back. That could be the difference in that 20-point shakeup. It's going to be really, really close going in. Whoever's on top, it's going to be really close going into this next event in 2 weeks.
And that'll be ARCA at Kansas. ARCA cars, everybody has drove them. It's the D class. It's the second series you go to on oval, and Kansas is a easy track to drive, but a hard track to master. So it's going to be an interesting race for sure.
Well, and the ARCA cars, I enjoy them. They're fun, but they're not exactly a treat. So it's gonna be who has the most experience? Who spent the most time, hustling that D license in the ARCA car? Who spent the most time practicing Kansas, and who's gonna spend the most time the next 2 weeks actually practicing that car and this
I
track
need to be able to
coming up?
share a screen in one.
Well, on that note, Doug, we got to go review this race over in the admin group. I know our interviews ran a little bit long, but always a pleasure to be up here in the booth with you. I look forward to getting Aaron Johnson in a booth with you. I'm gonna go jump back and help these guys with race review. You got anything before we head out?
Nope, I am good, man. Looking forward to talking to you again in a couple of weeks. This was a blast, and as always, and great race tonight.
As always.
All right, thank you all for tuning in tonight. It has been an interesting night, and we'll get to see somebody get their legs waxed here in a day or two. Thank you all for tuning in, and be sure to check back with Tyler Daniels Racing, BACC Charities, Nowski Nation, and How to Suck at iRacing. You can check out all of our broadcasts on htsai.net, and we'll have more stuff coming up in the near future. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you, Tommy, and y'all have a great night.
You too, brother.